Hello everyone and welcome to another Transformers third-party review. In today's video we're taking a look at the latest offering from X-Transbots as part of their Menasor wave. This is of course the X-Transbots DEATHWISH Berserker. Berserker is going to be absolutely amazing once he's completed. That is deep and meaningful. None can destroy iron, but its own rust can. And now we have a kind of electric picture of DEATHWISH. Same picture, just kind of the opposite of, that's just the chunk that's been taken out and that's missing for this shot. And look here, we have the wing mirrors, they're just in this packet. Now you can put them on the vehicle, but personally I like to keep mine off. We get a set of instructions, we get a collector's card in there. As you see here, I've got the gun on the back, a really gorgeous paint scheme. That's a Porsche 928, I believe. Gorgeous paint scheme. The back might not be quite as wide as it should be, not entirely sure. Absolutely adore how this thing looks. Obviously it's quite accurate to the official kind of car. It rolls really well. We could always have a stripe along the bonnet to make it more like the toy. Imagine that's something that toy hacks could rectify. We've got the Porsche emblem there but no actual logo inside to avoid copyright. Apologies for the actual flex in the floor. This does actually roll quite nicely. It's just the way the floor is set up needs a little bit more in terms of support underneath, but my goodness me, is this a gorgeous looking alt mode. Here I have him alongside some Autobot cars. You see we've got another Porsche there. I believe that the 928 was definitely the bigger of the two. I think it's meant to have a wider back end. I mean, if you weigh them up, if you ignore the wide body kit there, I'm not entirely sure, but I think that the Porsche 928 was meant to be the bigger of the two. But I mean, with the Datsun and the Lamborghini, I mean, they all look really amazing together. Right, now taking a look at the alt mode, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Really love how that looks. We've got rubber tires. X-Transbots are one of my favourite third-party companies today. They've got amazing aftercare. If anything goes wrong, like people are having problems with their drag strip, personally I haven't, but I know that people have, with stress marks and some damage to the fin. I know that you can email 538, I think his name is, he's the designer. You can email him or X-Transbots themselves, and they are really good with their aftercare as long as you buy them through a reputable source. But look at that, barely any bot mode on there. You see the head poking through. Now, one thing that really confuses me is the fact you can actually add LEDs. There's some bulbs in the front of the car here where you can put the batteries behind. It just seems like a very odd decision for the fourth and final car in the series to then stick LED lights in. Don't get me wrong, some people love their LEDs, and I personally do, but I am not going to use those lamps. Now, if you want to add batteries to your figure, let me just remove the gun for the transformation. Take that out. If you look on the underside, there's a switch just in there. You flick this switch, and that's where the LED lights will then come on. Now, I don't have any in there. I don't plan on putting any in there, but I may get some for when I review all of this wave when we get their Motor Master. But absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous looking figure. Cannot recommend this guy enough. He's just... Oh, I do love my Porsches, I really do, and this just, everything about it, they've done a really remarkable job. X-Transbots are nailing bot mode, alt mode, and the combined forms. From what I've seen by renders, right, you want to grab this back section, and you want to pull this down. Same with the front section. I think this is going to come all the way around at the waist first. The front section here should pull backwards, and this should work. Up, he says. There we go. These should just come away from the windows. I've only transformed this twice, so yeah, you're learning as I do. There we go. Up, there we go. That's come away now, and it just lifts up to the back. We have this piece on the back here, so you can see where you can put the batteries in. Now there's a screw just there that you unscrew, and that's going to be what houses all of the batteries. Now grabbing these arms and pulling this section down, there's a little bit of flex in there, just enough for these arms to come untabbed away from the torso, and they should, there we go, lift that up. It comes out of the side. You can see there's a kind of tab on the underside of the arm that just tabs into these pieces. Just be careful of these flexi tabs. Shouldn't bend wrong, but always be careful. Now you want to pull this piece inwards, and that's on a slider. That's going to slide all the way up to the top. There we go. And then these outer panels are just going to fold in around the outside, sliding down as we go. Just be careful of that hinge, push, and that tidies up really quite nicely. Then we can rock these arms all the way down, and these are going to rotate around, and then this arm just slides down. You see that it's on a sliding pin, which in turn allows this all to just slide in one another. So again, you see just slid all the way down. This one slides back, and then they're just going to push and close in together. We can then bring the arms down to the side and straighten up these arms like so. Just rotate that around. That's going to be the back, isn't it? So we're going to rotate that around, rotate that around, rotate the head around. Love the sculpt on this head. That's what we're left with. Now rotate the squeaky waist and this back panel here. This piece here rotates as well. And then this is on a hinge. It's going to bend backwards like so. There's these tabs just on the inside. They're going to pull up. And if you look on the back of the neck, if I can just line that up on camera, you better push that in. Come on. There we go. That's in. That's in quite nicely. Just want to square that up. And you can see that really tidies up around that neck. Right, you want to split the legs, and you want to lift. That's not meant to come off. These spoilers always pop off on all of the X-Transbots. They're not glued, are they? So at least you can just pop them back on. Right, you want to flip these panels down. If you've got any nails, they're a little bit of a job to get down. Now, if we rotate this panel on the back of the legs, that's going to unclip. Where it is? This one here. Just want to give that a little pry, like so. This bit here is going to come all the way around. You need to make sure the legs are really wide, otherwise there's not enough clearance. So I just lift this up, this slides. Lift this up, this slides all the way down, so there's more than enough clearance. Now we can bring that around on these nice squeaky legs. You want to fold this panel out, and that's got the X-Transbots kind of logo and signature on the inside. There's the branding mark, which is kind of cool. This piece here folds down, and we've got the heel spur. There we go. That should just flip out and down. You've got these wheels that fold around. This panel folds down, and then this is going to fold in and just click in together. We can bring the legs down, sort out the chest, and there we have. We're at a dead end. And here we have him fully transformed up, and I absolutely adore how he looks. He could be my favourite Stunticon to date that X-Transbot have done. There's just something about the way he tidies up. I am a huge Porsche fan though, mainly because my son absolutely adores Porsches. This guy does look exceptional. I don't know what I think of the kind of G2 look that they've given their version of this. Is not really a vast difference in the two, if you've seen the teased images, but as far as G1 goes, X-Transbot always managed to nail it. He looks superb. I mean, this is Deadend ripped directly from the cartoon, in my opinion. He's a great size, a good Voyager scale figure, and I honestly cannot wait for them to give us their Motormaster as well. He must be so close now. I honestly cannot wait to have a finished X-Transbot combiner. They are one of my favourite third-party companies out there. They just continue to get better and better. They really do listen to their fans, and they try and improve on everything they do. I am not dissing people like Fans Toys, because Fans Toys are where they are now because they deliver exceptional products. They're just not perfect. And I've been critiqued for saying that, but if you're spending good money on a figure, you want it to be perfect. If there's faults with X-Transbot figures, the whole internet knows about it, and people sit to complain, and X-Transbot act on it. They get replacement parts out, etc. But heaven forbid anybody should say anything wrong about the almighty Fans Toys. Anyway, like a third of my collection is Fans Toys, so I can't really grumble, but they're not perfect. This guy, on the other hand, he's not far off. I love Deadend, and this guy is no exception. Here we have him alongside his X-Transbot comrade in arms. They all look absolutely exceptional together. What a fantastically menacing team. Absolutely adore how these look. I still say he's probably my favourite of the four thus far. It's going to be interesting to see just how they look with Motormaster as well. But for now, I think these are really great display pieces, and they tick a lot of people's G1 animation boxes. They may not be perfect, but they're not far off. Let's just bring in some of these Autobot cars to see how they all look together, and yeah, you know, I think that's a pretty decent look. I actually own two of this Deadend because I love the Porsche 928 a lot, so I wanted one to display in vehicle mode and one to display in bot mode. I envy people that can do that for every single figure. Some even have 3 of each, so they can have the combined mode as well. Not dissing them at all, I'm just incredibly jealous. And to give you an idea of how he would scale with leader class figures, here he is with MP10 and the TE01 from Transform Element. As you can see, they all look really nice together. The general consensus is that if you can build a combiner with the likes of Zeta, the likes of Fans Toys, your leader bot, Silverbolt, Motormaster, etc., can be taller than a leader class Prime or leader class Meg. So ideally, I'd like them to be the same size, all of them the same size, which is what I think DX9 originally teased. But I guess that's making more work for yourselves. I'm more than happy to have the leader slightly bigger. I just don't want them to look ridiculously bigger, so they actually blow kind of completely out of scale. Right, now articulation. The head can look up, down, left and right. We've got a little bit quizzical tilting in there. We've got rotation on the arms, out to the side. We've got a bicep rotation. We've got a double jointed bend on that elbow there. We've got rotation on the wrist and a pin on the wrist. We've got the rotation on the waist, really squeaky. You've got abdominal crunch in there on a nice ratchet, something I really like on these figures. Hip skirts to the side and to the front, allow for the legs to come this far forwards, all the way back, out to the side. Upper thigh rotation, bend on the knee. Now it's actually a double jointed bend on the knee. If you just bend this knee down and rock that back, that's actually on a ratchet in there as well. And I've knocked the spoiler off again. Again, like I say, you could glue these on. There's nothing stopping you, but I'd always be kind of worried about breaking it if it's actually glued on. Coming down to the feet, they can rock forwards and backwards, left and right. We've got this little heel spur thing here, and I haven't actually flipped the heel spurs down yet from the heel. They just fold downwards. But yeah, other than these squeaky legs, I think he's a really good looking figure. I mean, look at him, kind of, if I can just pose him. He does lean all the way back, and doesn't he look absolutely fabulous? So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. A huge shout out to Show Z, where I managed to get this guy from. Honestly, cannot wait to see what else X-Transbot do. I've actually got a stall this year at TF Nation, where I'll be selling a lot of the X-Transbot G2 convention exclusives. That's courtesy of Primetime Toys, so make sure you pay me a visit. I need to buy some myself. I get them slightly cheaper because I'm buying them at wholesale, but it's still going to cost me an arm and a leg to try and get all of those G2s in. But I kind of need to, because Beachcomber, Sea Spray and that, they all look exceptional. Of course, I will do a review of those once I have them in hand, and I may even do a live stream review from TF Nation itself. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy days to watch my content. I've included a playlist to the other X-Transbot videos in the side of this video, and until next time, from myself and X-Transbots, Deathwish aka Deadend, goodbye.